Top of the morning to y'all. That was horrible. But this is a call for the storm. Top of the morning to you lads and ladies.
You sound like you're from London.
I added that specifically for this morning. Kevin Tompkins, Gary Haddow, Britt, Flinn here. We are going to be going through some week 5 stuff here. How are we doing?
I'm doing great. I got all the
After
energy.
that, how can you not be?
Despite a 6 a.m. standard wake up call from my 4-year-old, I'm doing great. So we got a nice spectrum here of sleep that was had and not had.
Yes, that's very true. I'm just running on pure adrenaline. Also wearing the Dak jersey because it is 364 days since his ankle injury against the Giants, and they are playing the Giants today. So I am geared up and ready to go.
It's a good stat.
That's awesome. Let's get right into it then. We have football going on currently. They're currently in halftime over there in Tottenham Stadium, where the Tottenham Hotspur play. The Atlanta Falcons are leading the New York Jets 20-3 on the strength of Kyle Pitts, who people can stop talking about. When is Kyle Pitts going to do something? 6 for 64 and a touchdown on 7 targets. #good. So that's pretty good. Hayden Hurst had a fumble, but he did have a touchdown before that. Matt Ryan looks good, like he's played before. Zach Wilson doesn't look like he's played before. So Jets are going to Jets. Falcons are going to Falcons. Britain, we're sorry we brought that game to you, but we didn't do anything.
No. Yeah, I blame Zach Wilson on his performance on his mom's social media post. Just absolutely atrocious.
Yeah, it's easy
I don't know
to
what you're talking about.
Yeah, just blame the Jets for everything. Everything that has gone wrong, with America, or just blame the Jets. It's just way easier to do it that way.
It's like blame Canada.
Yeah, but maybe we could blame them for some of the injuries that we have to deal with for week 5 here, because we got a lot of them. We'll start on the early slate, and Denver has quite a few. But Teddy Bridgewater, quarterback, did leave last week's game with a concussion. Drew Lock did come in, and we were wondering how bad that would be if Drew Lock were to play. Luckily, we do not have to worry about that, as Teddy Bridgewater has cleared concussion protocol and is slated to start today against the Pittsburgh Steelers. Is a tougher matchup with that pass rush, but those Denver weapons, Cortland Sutton and Melvin Gordon, also dealing with injuries, both limited Friday, expected to play, but we will get first word on that in about 30 minutes. Are we fading any of the Denver weapons here against the Pittsburgh Steelers today?
Fade's a strong word. I think it is hard to get away from Melvin, who's a little banged up, and Javonte, because we just know that they have a floor that is, might not be double-digit points, but it's up there. The 7 to 10 points is their floor, in my opinion. And then you're only going to be starting Tim Patrick, and I don't know. I'm still going to start him. I think the Steelers are a good defense, but if Teddy's back, I'm back to being confident that they'll figure out a way to move the chains.
Yeah, it's definitely more promising than if Drew Lock was quarterbacking today, because that had me a little bit worried. But with Bridgewater back, I'm definitely playing Javonte. If Gordon goes, I'll play him, Patrick, just like you said. So, yeah, I'm not really going to fade him, but just play cautiously, I guess.
Absolutely. And then moving over one game that has a litany of injuries, the Detroit-Minnesota game, and we'll start with the Detroit side. Deandre Swift with a groin injury, Jamal Williams with a hip injury, TJ Hawkinson with a knee injury, all questionable heading into today's game at Minnesota. All are limited, but we're limited on Friday, but all are expected to play. And then Dalvin Cook with that ankle injury. He played with that last week, but he seems more questionable this week based on the talk that's been happening based on last week to this week. A lot of Madison swirling around, but I would give it a go with Cook. Gary.
All right. Jets almost just returned the opening kickoff of the half for a touchdown, but Johnson got kicked out of bounds like right there.
Oh boy. Dalvin Cook seems more questionable this week. Well, like I said, we will get word on that, but any thoughts on Detroit, Minnesota as far as how you're going to handle those running backs? Gary, this is not math class. You do not have to raise your hand to speak.
So I think you're starting Dalvin as long as he plays. His game time, but whatever. It's Dalvin. Like he seemingly gets injured every game. That's like the meme for him, but he always comes back in. So you're starting him if he plays. I think you're probably starting both running backs regardless, with Swift being the higher upside because of his pass catching. What I want to ask is about Hockenson. There are now a bunch of streamable tight ends that are potentially available to pivot away from Hockenson. Devontae Parker is going to be out. We'll talk about that in a sec, but what does that do to Mike Gesicki? You and I or the three of us before we just came on, talks about Max Williams against the Niners for the Cardinals, or Dan Arnold with the Jacksonville Jaguars. So if Hawk plays, is it don't overthink this? You're starting him no matter what?
Well, also what a lot of people, it's kind of flying under the radar a little bit, but Frank Ragnow, their center, is on IR now. And Sewell's kind of banged up too. So you have questions about their offensive line and how's that going to work. And, Detroit's already kind of iffy when it comes to their offense anyway. And with those two pieces either out or not at 100%, it kind of gives me a little pause for concern about how functional that offense is going to be today.
I did not know that about Ragnow.
Yeah. It's Rag later, actually.
I'm officially moving away from my my Lions Vikings stack that I had. I was super happy about it. I'm done with it, DFS. I'm going to pivot.
Yeah, it's tough, but I think DeAndre Swift with the role that if one of those guys are out, they're smashes as far as close to RB1 upside. Swift, he already has it. Just you can shoot him up a little bit. Even with the offensive line injuries, I think he's still going to get enough work, especially in the passing game, to be able to matter. Difference there between him and Jamal Williams. And then Hockenson, if he's in, you got to play him. He's a top 6 tight end. In a growth position like that, you have those studs, you got to play him. Dalvin Cook is interesting just because I think that's something where Madison can work in even if Cook is active. So, and we'll talk about that because I'm sure we'll get a bunch of questions. And as I say that, Alexander Madison or Damien Williams. Now, this is not a question for me. Damien Williams, for me, is a top 12 running back this week against the Vegas Raiders. We just saw them get absolutely steamrolled by Austin Eckler, and it looks like the Bears want to keep the ball out of Justin Fields' hands. So Damien Williams is absolutely set up, and I think he's almost as close to a 1-to-1 from Montgomery to Damien Williams as far as how that offense is operating currently. Give me Damien Williams, and I think he's probably the play of the day. If you have, any of these running backs that you have questions on, I think Damien Williams is going to set up really well today.
Yeah, I was a little concerned about his thigh contusion and wasn't sure early on in the week, how bad it was and if he was actually going to play, but it seems like he's trending towards playing. He doesn't have a questionable tag or anything. He's a workhorse dude. He arguably was the MVP or should have been the MVP of the Super Bowl the year that the Chiefs won. He's a good running back. So, you have to.
I agree completely.
Yep. And as far as options behind him, Khalil Herbert has 10 career snaps, in his rookie season, but I think he works in a little bit more. They didn't really go out and get anybody, so it's a good sign that they want to go with Williams. This is going to be a multi-week thing, by the way. Montgomery is going to be out likely 4 to 5 weeks. So, fire up your Damien Williams and just you've got a starting running back for the next month or so. That's something that if he's on your bench or you're able to pick him up, that's a guy that can propel you if you were looking for running backs that can get you into that playoff mix. Other injuries that we've got for the early slate, Antonio Gibson with a shin injury. It sounds like, anytime you have a stress fracture, it does not sound good or boding well for your future prospects. So I'm very worried about Antonio Gibson going forward, and that could have something to do with how he performed the last couple of weeks. I'm worried with him, and then Jaret Patterson is a guy that he doesn't profile as much as a runner as kind of almost a backup to JD McKissic that can rush a little bit, get some passing work. I'm not sure how that dichotomy is going to work out if he's going to get more run, but I would expect him to work in more than and get a little bit off of Gibson's plate. Do you guys have any worries about this whole stress fracture thing with Gibson, how the Washington football team is running their offense, not giving him, this passing down work, being a receiving, we saw it in Memphis where he was a receiver converted a running back. So just an overarching, do we have concern on Gibson?
I absolutely do. They were talking today, like, yeah, we just heard that it was a stress fracture. And then this morning they were like, well, he might have to have surgery. So like, how bad is it if surgery is brought into the mix? Right. Like, I'm super concerned about it.
Yeah. I think that if he plays, you kind of just have to play him. Like, despite having this, he still has put up numbers, even if 1 week was fluky with the 73-yard catch and touchdown. But I mean, last week he's still done 14 for 63 and a touch. So he's doing it. I will say Matt Hicks, who is kind of my go-to rookie person each year. I'm trying to think what his handle is just to drop it for him. The FF_educator. He has a fantastic podcast just about rookies and whatever. And he was pretty high on Jaret Patterson. He really liked him. He knew he would take some time to develop, but this is the type of position. I mean, if Gibson does go on IR, obviously everyone's going to flock to McKissic, but he's already owned. Jaret, I mean, if you have a space at the end of your bench, I'm a really big believer. Always just pick up that random running back if somebody is banged up ahead of them, just in case something gets worse. So I'm in the process of actively doing that as we speak.
There we go. And then the other running back early, Joe Mixon with his ankle injury, no practice on Friday. Is trending toward playing. We'll see what happens. Like I said, inactives will be out in about 15 minutes or so. So we'll check that out. But so Samaje Perine was a very worthwhile add this week on waivers. So we'll see how that goes. They are playing Green Bay. That Green Bay can be run on. So we'll see how that goes. And then for the afternoon slate, Chase Edmonds with a shoulder injury did work on the side, was limited for most of the week, but expected to play per Adam Schefter. So my James Conner shares, come on, please do something. Poking the stick, that meme.
He's got a few touchdowns the past 2 weeks.
I know.
I was about to say, dude, like, what are you expecting?
Like, what do you
the
think?
world. I drafted him. So
I had James Conner in our Wednesday pod instead of James Crowder. I had James Conner in there as the player I'm excited to watch because he's become the player we expected him to. We hoped he would be. Doesn't have to be the bell cow, but he's going to be that goal line guy and be able to get those touches in a super high octane offense. So, I mean, as far as I'm concerned, you're getting way more than your money's worth right now. And just because Chase Edmonds is in doesn't mean that Connor's any less valuable.
No, not at all.
No. So I actually think
Chase Edmonds doesn't
Connor is a smash play, especially in like GPPs this week.
Yeah, Chase Edmonds doesn't get the red zone or goal line work at all. Nope. Like he just doesn't. And that's one. Yeah, that's
he has
Connor's
2 career goal line carries, by the way.
I think this year, he only has 1 5-zone. So, I mean, that's pretty.
That was last week, I think.
Yeah.
So, yeah. And then over to Dallas, Mari Cooper and Ezekiel Elliott, both with limited. Britt is already bracing. Both limited Friday, but are expected to play. Those are going to be afternoon games, so you'll get word on those. About an hour and a half before kickoff there against those tricky New York Giants. Yeah. So other than that, we have some doubtful. We'll go through those. Christian McCaffrey looked pretty good in the middle of the week as far as him wanting to play. Was listed as doubtful, so it's likely we're not going to be able to see him today. Fire up your Chuba Hubbards. One from the morning, Miami's Devontae Parker was downgraded to out with a hamstring injury. Those tricky hamstrings the hamstring monsters are getting everybody in this early season. The Giants wide receivers both out. Hamstring injuries for Sterling Shepard and Darius Slayton. We saw Mr. Unlimited Russell Wilson will be out for about 6 to 8 weeks with a finger that's a ligament tear. So
they put 3 pins in it.
Yeah.
And Pete Carroll was like, it's just a sprain. And they kept showing it over and over and over on TV. And I'm like, that ain't a sprain.
I haven't seen it yet.
Oh, it was disgusting.
Yeah, he. I mean, that picture of him on Twitter, look, he was milking that thing hardcore. It looked like just see with
somebody
the pad or
commented
whatever.
Somebody commented like, you didn't just have open heart surgery, you just got your finger operated on. Like, tone it down.
It's like Michael Scott on The Office when he burned his foot on the Foreman grill, but he wants everybody to give him the preferential treatment.
Yeah,
that is Russell Wilson.
It was pretty hammy.
Yeah. Julio Jones is out with that hamstring monster, but AJ Brown season in full effect today against the Jacksonville Jaguars, but probably it's a Derrick Henry 400-yard game. Of course, Rob Gronkowski still out with that rib injury. Jimmy Garoppolo with a calf injury paves the way for Mr. Trey Lance, Fargo's favorite son. Sorry, Carson Wentz. I'm looking out my window and bricks going to be thrown out there. Trey Lance Day. It's Trey Day. Let's get it going. Other than that, anything else that we want to hit before Gary, the math class? It's not math class.
So you said Trey Lance. I just wanted to say Elijah Mitchell is going to play. I apologize if you said that already.
I did not actually. He is going to play. I'm just not sure about that. I mean, I don't think anybody can be truly sure about that backfield. Given the beat writers don't want to tell us anything about anything because the whole
because they lie.
Well, Shanahan doesn't want to tell anybody anything. So
if Elijah is going, it'll be Elijah because they want speed and Trey's speed. I was texting my buddy during the game and we're total homers, and I was just like, you can see the significant difference from Trey compared to when Raheem was in there, but when Elijah's in there, he is much closer to Raheem than Trey because he's lightning fast. So that's what they want.
Also, I have to kind of put a plug in for Trey Lance. Arizona's defense looks pretty good on paper, but their one weakness is allowing rushing yards to quarterbacks. And Trey Lance does have that dual threat capability. So I expect to see him rush a ton today. I'm pretty excited to see it, actually.
I'm nervous.
Yeah. I'm definitely excited. That will be a game that I'll definitely be watching today. We have some questions in here. I've got a few here. So, Mr. Axel Jansen, Chuba Hubbard, James Conner, or Madison for RB3. Looks like he went off of the Damien Williams. Is just going to play him. Now it's Chuba, Conner, or Madison.
Those are two different leagues, PPR versus standard.
Oh yeah, just kidding.
Point of order.
Thank you, Gary.
Tough.
At least someone's awake here.
It's between Hubbard and Conner for me. Obviously, if Cook's out, you're going Madison. But if they're splitting, then I don't know if I want to touch Madison. Conner feels like the play, but I'm just going to go with Conner. Stay in the Flames.
I think, yeah, Conner's usage the past 2 weeks has been really encouraging. And I just think you have to keep riding that hot hand, especially San Francisco's not the best against defending the run. So, yeah, I've got to go Conner.
Yeah, make it 3. Arizona's going to live in the red zone all season, and that's going to give Conner that opportunity to be able to put up some useful weeks, especially as an RB3. So, yeah, you got to give me Conner there. I think he's a pretty good play today. Though Chuba Hubbard against Philadelphia, I think he's a good play in his own right too. I think, I don't know if we've seen the best of Chuba Hubbard, and the one thing with him, Rodney Smith is working in quite a bit on passing downs, so that's going to cap a little bit of that. I mean, Chuba's not a 2-down grinder by any means, but he's getting enough of that work siphoned off of him to make him more of a low end RB2 than just a locked in RB2. So, yeah. Let me take a look here because I got some more questions. PPR need 2: Leonard Fournette, T. Higgins, Emmanuel Sanders.
I love Higgins with Alexander out. Like I'm all over Higgins.
Yeah. The one thing I will say, Eric Stokes, their rookie from Georgia, has been playing pretty much lights out since Kevin King has been hurt. Stokes has pretty much been the second corner. And while he is a rookie, he is no slouch. So I think he probably is going to land on one of Chase or Higgins. I think it's Tyler Boyd. I'm a little, I don't know. This is not homerism. It's just because I watch the team a lot. Shandon Sullivan's a pretty good slot corner. So I think Tyler Boyd's, we keep talking about it here. He's a professional wide receiver. He can definitely get it done today. I think that that team's going to be passing a little bit more, especially with the issues with Mixon. I don't think they're just going to run him into the ground today against Green Bay. I don't think you can do that. I think they're going to be passing a little bit more off of the momentum of Thursday night last week.
Who was the middle option? It was Leo, Higgins, and
Sanders, Emmanuel Sanders.
So they're going against the Chiefs, so I think I'm going to start Sanders. I mean, if it's Sanders versus Higgins, I feel like this is a gross thing to say that they're at least similar in their roles in the offense and stuff. So I think whatever. I'm probably going to go with Leo and Sanders, but I actually love all three. So get that 3-sided dice. I guess that's just a triangle. And I don't know, go for 2.
3-sided dice.
We went from math class to geometry, y'all.
Yeah.
Yeah. Or Dungeons and Dragons, whatever you want to.
This is how my brain works.
Good
Love
Lord,
it.
man.
I don't know. I mean, obviously we expect that Tampa Bay is going to get up on them. So yeah, I have a Tampa Bay question, but we'll come back to that when we have a free time.
Yeah, and Axel, you should be getting a Lightning Round t-shirt. And where can you get them? On VeridianGlobal.com. Use promo code Lightning Round for 25% off of your purchase. Go ahead and do it, Axel. We love you. And that's all I got. No, this is not. You're not going into the Twilight Zone here. It's Britt, but it's not Britt. Jalen Waddle, T. Higgins, Hunter Renfrow, Laviska Shenault, pick 2.
I'm letting you guys take this.
Yeah, I think it's your team. So I'm going with Higgins.
Who knows? We're in so many.
Yeah. I'm going to go with Higgins and Renfrow. I think I'm not as high on Shenault as everybody else is. I haven't been ever. The ADOT was throwing me off earlier in the season, and then sure, he had like a 54-yard catch, which got him to 6 for 99. But prior to that, he's still 5 for 40. Renfrow has just been steady Eddie. I believe it was Britt in her DFS Week 5 article. Just, he's been double digits every single week, and people keep trying to get him in various leagues, and I don't really want to part with him. He is just that consistent guy that you can put as your flex 2 and just know that set it and forget it.
And his routes are so clean. Like he can just break off from any defender at any given moment. Like, I love watching Renfrow run routes. I love it.
You know where he got all that from. He's been talking on the phone and hanging out with Fred Biletnikoff, so that helps you with that. No, that's a real thing though.
For the award, I wouldn't have known who that is, but I know what that award is because I follow college football. Apparently,
well, I follow the good college football, the FCS. Give me, you know what? It's a Visca redemption here. Whenever you're caught, if you're head coach Urban Meyer and you're caught with your hypothetical pants down with this whole situation, the thing you're gonna, Britt, the thing you're gonna do is you're gonna put
in the air.
We're not making those. We're not getting canceled today. It's not happening. Yeah, trust me, I am too. When you are Urban Meyer and you are missing your morning meetings.
Inactive. Sorry, guys.
What? He's inactive?
He's inactive.
What?
Fire up your Alex Madisons.
Son of. Nope.
Anyway,
Sorry, Kevin.
when you're, I just think Laviska. I think the Jaguars' offense against the Titans' defense, it is not that good. I think they're going to get off to a hot start. I think Urban Meyer has a little bit more something. If he's going to do anything, he has to bring that team out, and he has to show that he is serious and committed to this Jaguars team. He, Shad Khan said he is not going to tolerate any of this. I think Urban Meyer is, in a word, playing for his job today. I think what he does this week is going to be the jumping off point for if he stays, if he goes. So I like the Jaguars in a more spirited effort today against a weaker defense than the Titans. Give me Laviska Shenault.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Agreed.
Yeah, so that's Dalvin Cook out or inactive. That's wild. We're starting to get them Fast and Furious today, here coming up. So we have I don't see the Minnesota ones, but they're coming up here. So let's get into some more questions because I have a couple up here right now. Cowboys, Vikings, Chargers for defense number 2.
Well, I'm going Cowboys, Axel. But seriously, against the Giants, Danny Dimes has kind of played pretty well this season, but the way that the Cowboys defense has been forcing turnovers, I mean, you've just got to kind of lean on that for extra points because defense is kind of just to throw it in the air position anyway. And if you can get the turnover edge, then that's where you have to lean.
Yeah, I'm down with the Cowboys.
Me too. Agreed.
Another interesting note, the Packers Inactives Are Out. 2 of their starting offensive linemen are out today. Elton Jenkins, their all-pro, and Josh Myers, who's been their starting center. So that's gonna be an issue today potentially for Aaron Jones. And then also that Bengals defensive line has been playing very good so far. That's been probably the strength of their team, the front 7, in this kind of resurgent Bengals defense. Never thought I'd say that, but it's 2021 and anything can happen.
Sam Hubbard's a straight killer.
Yeah, and their linebacker too. I can't remember his name, but the one that picked off Ben a couple weeks ago. He's been it kills me. I'm not an IDP guy, not financial advice.
Was that Vaughn?
Advisor.
Von Bell?
No, linebacker. If you say his name, I'll know it. But anyway, yeah, let's get to. Oh, we got a kicker question. Joey Sly, Randy Bullock, Cairo Santos for kicker number 2. Give me Fat Randy.
Yeah,
I've been calling him that since he was in Cincinnati.
Oh my God. Yeah. Yeah. Randy. Sure. Well, Joey Sly just got cut and re-signed, right?
With the 49ers. Yeah.
Yeah. Also, side note, did we ever figure out what happened to Gold? In pregame warmups? That's so crazy to me.
Groin injury. I mean, he's on IR now.
Oof.
And that game, whatever. I don't get into it.
Oh, sorry to pick at scabs, Gary.
Yeah, so I'm going through some of the inactives right here. No surprise here, Julio Jones. The Minnesota one literally only has Dalvin Cook on it right now, which is kind of funny. Looking at others, though.
CMC's
was
out.
that? Yeah,
CMC is out.
Yep. And then going through some more. No real surprises here. So, like I said, they are coming in right now. Looks like Carolina's not updated on here, but anyway, let's get into some more questions here. Let's see. Pick 2: Connor, Fournette, Madison, or Damien Harris. Or pick 2. So pick 2 of those.
Not Deontay Harris. Just kidding. Pick 2.
Well,
It's for sure Madison.
Yeah,
Madison,
absolutely.
100%.
Madison and Fournette for me.
I
Yeah,
like
me
Madison
too.
and Connor, but I'm a Connor stan, so maybe I'm just being a little biased, but
Madison and Connor, and then Kevin, what are you saying?
I'm saying Fournette. I really like Fournette today against Miami. I think Tampa Bay comes out at home, and they're a 10-point favorite today. I think they come out, assert a bit of dominance. I know that their defense has not been great lately, but I think they can win a scoring race with Miami. And then Miami being forced to pass, maybe get some opportunistic plays there. The pass rush can get home. I like Fournette to be able to salt away that game. Ronald Jones is clearly in the back corner of the doghouse, not coming out anytime soon. Give me Leonard Fournette there.
I have a question. Just going back to we got Madison versus Damien, and then we have Madison versus Connor and Hubbard. Are we officially saying Axel Madison everywhere? Because I am.
Yeah. I think if you could find a way to get Madison and Damien Williams in there, you have to. But if you have to make a decision between the two, it'd probably be Madison for me over Damien Williams.
Yeah.
Well, the matchup against Detroit is just so like cupcake soft for that run. Like it's really, really enticing.
Right. Peter Byrne here. CEH, James Robinson, or Hubbard or Madison have PPR pick 2. Madison's in. So it's between the other 3 for the other slot.
I like Robinson for the other person. Tennessee's defense has just been pretty dismal. And if the game script goes like the way that I think it's going to go, and they want to keep the ball out of Derrick Henry's hands, basically, then they're going to have to manage the clock, and that's James Robinson's role.
Gary?
I'm pretty much on board with that. It's Robinson and Madison for me.
Give me CEH.
I didn't even see CEH there. I'm sorry. All right.
200-yard games in a row. 2 touchdowns receiving. Last 2 weeks, highest over/under of the season or of the slate. Fire up all your Chiefs,
and with the rain too.
Yeah, that's going to be an issue too. So with that game, rain is increasingly likely into the second half. Won't fully ground these high-powered offenses, but considers weather a factor to bump this passing game down per Roto Grinders in their weather app. So definitely interesting there in Kansas City, where that could skew a little bit toward the running game there. So Darrell Williams could factor in a little bit, but I like CEH building on some of that momentum. 200-yard games in a row, you really can't beat that. Looks like they're making a more concerted effort in getting him involved. So like him over the rest there. Obviously starting Madison, and I would put in CEH.
And for Peter Byrne, I think that you should try and figure out CEH, Robinson, and Madison. I don't think that they're going to be probably top 12 plays each, probably maybe top 15. Tennessee is just terrible. So, and we know that James Robinson is the go-to. All 3 of these guys should smash. I still am actually a little bit lowest on CEH just because we know that offense doesn't need to funnel through him. Whereas we know Madison and Robinson, the offenses tend to funnel through their running backs. So
true. So let's go into our weekly debate here between me and Gary for use Checker McNichols or Khalil Herbert for RB3 in PPR.
No longer a debate. We are on the same page.
Oh, are we?
Jeremy McNichols everywhere.
Yep.
I just
yes,
especially with Elijah Mitchell back. But Jeremy McNichols, I've tried to pick him up in every single league I could. He's the Brandon Bolden of the Titans.
And especially in PPR, like he got 12 targets last week. 12. And they have AJ Brown back, but Julio's still out. And he's just PPR gold. You have to.
So I don't know if that. I think some of that might have been a little bit of fool's gold with the late game PPR work, but it does not mean he's not going to get involved. I think it was just situationally dependent to where he got those 12 targets. So I'm not buying that kind of output, and I don't think we're going to see anything close to that again. But if he can get 4 or 5 targets sneak in a touchdown every other week, every so often. I think McNichols is at least going to be relevant as that Brandon Bolden type guy. I don't know if he gets as much work as Bolden, so that would be something that you have to monitor with that. But in terms of a deeper play here, I like McNichols definitely. Let's go over to Daryl here. PPR: Emmanuel Sanders, Damien Harris, or Antonio Brown.
Ooh. I think I want to go Sanders, just because the high-powered offenses, and I mean, we did just talk about weather, but I don't know. Ugh. Yeah, I think I like Sanders.
Man, I forgot about the weather when we were talking about that previous question of Sanders versus Higgins and stuff. But I'm going Damien. I mean, I feel like he is very good. They've played the Saints and the Bucks, who are the first and the third ranked rush defense, and now they get the sieve that is the Texans. And I mean, don't we all just think that the Patriots are going to be up 20, 30 points?
One wrinkle in that is they are down 4 starting offensive linemen today. The Patriots true. Are. So I'm not sure if it's going to be as much of a Damien Harris smash, but if they can parlay some of that momentum from how they played against Tampa, because that offense looked pretty good. Yeah. And I still think Damien Harris is a worthy start here.
Over the other two?
I think it's closer, but we know Damien Harris is not likely getting much passing work. I mean, PPR Sanders, it's tough. That's a tough one. It's honestly a tough decision to be making a flex. I would say it's between Sanders and Harris for me, and I would I'm higher on Sanders. I'd probably play Sanders here.
So I wanted to ask this earlier.
Even with
I apologize, Daryl. What? So you have been fading AB across almost every question that we've gotten. I want to know what your approach is to the trifecta of wide receivers that they have.
For Tampa, you mean?
Yeah.
Well, we know Godwin and Evans are going to be playing 95+% of the snaps. Antonio Brown works in on 11 personnel. He does not play a full complement of snaps, though he does play about 70 or so percent of snaps. With Tampa Bay being favored in this game, I don't know if they need to be as reliant on 11 personnel this week. So that is where I'm probably leaning more toward those two and then a bigger gap than normal. If it were, a game where it's going to be a competitive, which don't get me wrong, anything can happen in the NFL. This game can absolutely be competitive. I'm going to side toward Vegas with this, if they feel like Tampa Bay is going to get out and stay kind of out in front of Miami. So I don't know if it's much of a fade on Antonio Brown, is just how trying to predict that game script against Tampa. Yes, their defense is down. Yes, Miami has a backup quarterback, but I don't think it's going to be a game that's in question today.
Okay.
Let's take a look here. Ray. Oh boy, here we go. If you like kick returners, this is the one for you. Ray McLeod, Gunnar Olszewski, Jamal Agnew. Please tell me this is a kick return yardage. You get points for that. Please tell me that.
I think you just have to go with Jamal just because of how bad Tennessee's defense is. I mean, I think he has the most upside out of those three.
Yeah, I agree.
Yeah, I think that McLeod has the target floor, but I'm still going to go with Agnew. Especially
literally a target. His ceiling and floor is a target.
Better than
pretty much
Olszewski. Yeah. So I'm going to go with Agnew. I mean, you just have no idea. Maybe, hey, what's going to happen without what's his name in there? Without DJ Chark. So,
right. DeAndre Swift or Damien Williams for RB1 and PPR.
Ooh,
that's more of a question.
That's honestly a good one.
Yeah. I mean, in PPR, Geez, I think I would still lean Swift.
Yeah, I think I would also.
Yeah,
I'm just
it's hard to.
I'm a little weird about it because of his groin. So it makes me want to lean more of Williams because Williams did catch a lot of balls in Kansas City when he was there.
Yeah.
And against the Raiders, I think I have to go Williams. I'm diverging.
Both are good plays. Both are top 12 plays. I mean, it's tough, but there's almost no wrong answer here. I think both guys are going to have good games. Just yeah,
I think Swift is a higher upside.
No, I agree with that. Trey here. Good morning. A couple questions. Full PPR choose 2: Galladay, Boyd, Allen Robinson, or James Conner. And then we'll get to the quarterback question after. But first off, Galladay, Boyd, A-Rob, and James Conner.
Boyd for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Galladay's got to be, I think, too.
Probably Galladay, just given the target distribution that we're going to see.
And the injuries right now, it's Galladay, Tony, and Engram if you're going to do anything in the passing game, and then adding in Barkley.
Yeah, but Diggs is going to be all over Galladay. And Diggs has kind of shown himself to be like a shutdown corner. So I'm a little apprehensive on Galladay. And not just because I'm being a homer, but
No, that's fair.
I think
Conner is close, but I just don't know if Diggs is going to follow him everywhere. Has he been shadowing?
Yeah, I don't know.
No.
He's moved around.
Yeah, I have to go Boyd and Conner. I love Conner's red zone usage. I'm literally obsessed with it.
Literally. By the way, also a little score update. It is Falcons 20, Jets 9, end of the third quarter. Mercifully for the people in London, that game is almost over. Cordell Patterson, though, look at he almost has 100 yards combined. By the way, not a gimmick running back. People will tell you that.
I was doing the dishes before the show came on, and I was like, the one thing I wanted to bring up was I'm officially like Cordell Patterson is a running back 2, and I think he's a high end one. I don't know if I'm ready to declare him a running back 1, but he is officially there. Like, I don't see his usage changing. He's getting the most important thing is he's getting targets, and he's getting deep targets. And that changes everything when you're when you're a running back. So he feels like a set it and forget it RB2 rest of season.
Yeah, that really sucks for my Calvin Ridley shares.
He's basically like I liken him as far as like value to like Kareem Hunt. That's like about where I have him.
Far above.
So yeah, I have Galladay, Boyd. I think everybody else is on Boyd and Conner, right?
Yep.
I'm Boyd Galladay. Okay. It makes sense to me, but I really like Conner too.
And then also Carr, Tannehill, or Trey Lance. I think you got to ride. You know what? If you're dangerous like me, go with Trey Lance.
Well, it's kind of what I brought up
way
earlier.
Higher upside.
Well, yeah, that's what I brought up earlier. Arizona's one weakness is allowing rushing yards to the quarterback.
Yeah, and 20 points in the second half against the Arizona Cardinals, or against
absolutely
whoever they played.
Yeah, whoever. We just blacked that out.
Yeah,
but I think he's going to have to remain competitive in this game because Arizona's offense is just so high powered. Mm-hmm. I mean, there's going to be lots of opportunities for him to score.
I'm going Carr, and I hope I'm wrong. Tannehill is we just don't know. We think it's going to be a Derrick Henry game. I'm going to go with Carr, see what happens, but I get it. People want Lance. I can't be objective on him. So,
yeah, that whole Tannehill thing is tough. He's so hard to start right now. Yeah. Robbie Anderson or Brandon Ayuk for wide receiver 4 in PPR. Oh boy. It's Robbie Anderson. I think I think Ayuk is toxic right now. I don't think you can touch him or start him right now. Robbie Anderson at least got double-digit targets last week, and they showed a more concerted effort to want to get him involved. So I think you still have to ride that. I mean, he's not completely persona non grata in the offense, but I mean, Ayuk is you can't do anything with him right now.
I was going to go with Robbie just for the target floor, but I mean, Ayuk, at least as a breath of fresh air, and that you get a new quarterback, and we haven't seen what that's going to look like because mid-game is not a game plan. So when Lance came in, sorry if that didn't make sense.
Sorry if that makes sense.
This is where we're at right now. I just
welcome to 2021.
Yes, it's beautiful.
Yeah.
I just think that it's still a little iffy to pin everything on Ayuk when we haven't seen how this offense is going to operate around Lance being the starter. Whereas with Robbie Anderson, we kind of know what we've got going into the game. So I'm playing it conservative and going Anderson.
Yeah. I mean, you just can't, based on what we know. Yeah, it's with Jimmy Garoppolo, but you can't, I don't think you can even touch Ayuk right now, kind of sight unseen. I mean, you could do it. I mean, DFS, absolutely. I mean, he'll probably be like 1% owned, but yeah.
There were, I think, a couple questions that we skipped. I just want to make sure that we get to them.
No, we got them. Oh, there's Hawkinson or Cameron Britt here, half PPR, and then I'll get to the other one after.
Well, I'm all over Britt.
It's so difficult when there's 4 pass catching options, whereas Hawk, you at minimum know he is the 1 or 2. So,
but is Hawk going to play? Like, he's been limited all week. Like, is he going to go?
If he doesn't play, then your question's answered. But if he does play, I mean, they are just, I don't know.
He is active. He should. I would say, I haven't seen or heard anything about him splitting any work with Darren Fells or anybody. So, I mean, that could be something where they maybe manage him a little bit, but I still think he plays over 80% and runs 80% of routes and is still definitely a factor there. So I would still go with, I mean, Britt's, to make America great again, you need to get a touchdown. That's pretty much Cameron Britt's MO. So that's what you need. And I mean, he is in that tight end 2 mix where it's mixing everybody into, that cement mixer, and all you need is a touchdown to make your nut and win your week.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Daryl, Damien Harris or Deandre Swift. I think this isn't going to be close. I think it's got to be Swift.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
All right.
Swift. Sorry.
Okay. No, I thought you were gonna. I
have the game up like right next to like us, and anyway. So.
Yeah, Kyle Pitts just got another big long catch.
That was called back.
No, it wasn't.
Peter Byrne here. Mike Williams or Melvin Gordon in standard.
Dude, stay in the Flames, even if last week was whatever. It's funny that Mike Williams, it was his birthday, so everyone expected a ton, and maybe he just partied a little bit early or something. But Mike Williams is a stud, dude. I mean, he is a top 12 wide receiver. I have no question. No question about it. You stay with him. He's so good.
Yeah. Not worried. Not worried at all. I mean, he had one bad. I mean, if it turns into 2 in a row, then we'll have some questions, and then we'll probably get every Mike Williams question under the sun next week in week 6. But for week 5, I think you got to roll Mike Williams still.
Dope.
I don't know. I'm on the fence about this. I kind of like Melvin Gordon because Cleveland's cornerbacks are really good. I mean, shockingly good. So I'm just waffling a little bit on that, but
waffle.
Yep.
Sorry, I like waffling.
I know I'm hungry. I need breakfast.
Totally.
All right, so let's see. Oh, the IDP question here: Trevon Diggs, Micah Parsons, or Devondre Campbell for IDP.
All right, I literally want to say to Axel, I have all 3 of these people on my same team, so they're all great choices.
I actually have Micah I picked up Micah Parsons last week on mine, actually. One IDP league that I do.
Well, he's got dual eligibility. He's a defensive end and a linebacker. So if you can put him in your defensive end spot, like the way that we do our league, we do like defensive line, defensive back, just a defensive player, and then a linebacker.
Yep.
So we play 4 IDP people, and you can slide Micah Parsons right into that defensive end spot with linebacker snaps, and it's genius. But Campbell has the tackle upside, but if you want to like shoot for the fences, then Diggs has the turnover upside. So it just depends on like how risky you want to play it.
It's Micah for me. I think he
really
kind of covers everything. Maybe
Give
I'm
me
just biased
Trevon.
because I just love him.
Give me Diggs. You got to risk it to get that biscuit.
I love it.
That's
Well, like if he
that's
does
all
get
I
an
got.
interception, then like, what's his floor?
I can tell
By
you.
the way, I'm not an IDP superstar by any means, but I'm feeling pretty good. I picked up somebody at 3 in the morning yesterday. Quincy Williams for the Jets, by the way, with 2 forced fumbles, 21.75 today.
He's the rookie, right? Did I see that right?
No, he played for
That's the other Williams.
Jacksonville. He's Quinnen Williams' older brother.
That's wild.
That is wild. That might be my Jeremy Chin of last year. My pickup where he just automatically produces whenever I put him in the lineup. I had to take out Jayon Brown, who went on IR for the Tennessee Titans. This IDP, welcome to the calm before the IDP storm. Apparently, we're getting in here. So
apparently,
yes. Also, with Edmonds likely to play, flex him or Galladay in full PPR.
I think Kevin and I will agree on this. We're going Galladay.
Edmonds. Oh no, I like Edmonds.
Really? Even with his shoulder and stuff? I don't know. I'm not touching that. I'll go Galladay.
I think he can shoulder the load a little bit today.
Oh my God.
I'll spread it around.
We're canceled. It's been a great ride, everybody. Last 2 years. Yeah.
I'm here for the dad jokes. That's it. But Edmonds
Dad jokes, no kids. That's all.
Yep. I mean, dog mom. That's it.
Dog mom.
But with Edmonds gets so many targets, and like I said earlier, I'm really concerned about Galladay because I do think that Diggs is going to shadow him and basically just shut him down the entire game. I would have to go Edmonds here.
I dig it. I got some rapid fire questions before if you want to hit a few before we
let's do it.
Jump out of here. All right, Cameron Brate, Dallas Goedert, PPR.
Goddard.
Goddard.
Sorry, Britt.
No, it's Goddard. It is.
Probably Goddard. Sam Darnold, Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins.
Darnold.
I don't know. I think Madison's going to run a little bit today.
Dude,
I don't know.
You guys are just banking somewhat. He has so many rushing touchdowns. Sam Darnold is going to come back to earth a little bit on that.
He doesn't have to hit the rushing touchdowns to provide value. All he needs is DJ Moore, baby. That's all he needs. The fighting DJ Moore is out there in Carolina.
We'll do some sort of a Kirk Darnold bet, and we'll figure out the details between now and noon.
Beautiful. Here for it.
Miles Sanders, Antonio Gibson.
Gibson.
I guess Gibson. Pivot.
Marvin Pivot. Marvin Jones, Javonte Williams.
Marvin Jones.
Me too. Marvin Jones.
Yeah. Against Tennessee's defense, yeah, you got to.
Josh Jacobs, Damien Harris.
You said Josh Jacobs, and I was thinking of Brandon Jacobs for some reason, as if he's been in the league in the last 7 years.
Right. Dallas Goedert, Dawson Knox.
Stupid question. Knox,
Wow.
I guess. I just don't like the Dawson Knox thing. It just doesn't you got to play him, but we every year we see tight ends that just get on a touchdown streak and then it ends, and everyone's just like, oh shit.
Josh Gordon or Gabriel Davis, and I think it's got to be Gabriel Davis because I'm just
We still have no idea.
Yeah, we have no idea if he's even going to be active today, and if he is active, I mean, how many snaps is he realistically going to play?
I'm being contrarian.
I mean, he's not going to be out there running 70% of snaps. That's just not happening. That's not the card.
Gabriel Davis's best game this season was? It was week 1 with 5 targets, 2 receptions, 40 yards, and a touchdown. Then he had 1 reception for 23 yards on 1 target, and then he had 1 target for 0. I'm going with Josh Gordon. He has upside.
You know what Josh Gordon's stats are this season, Gary?
Exactly. So let's go with it and see what can
0.0.
Cool. Like if he gets 0, you probably got 2 more points with Davis.
I'm starting to Deshaun Watson over Josh Gordon.
No.
At least I know they're probably going to end up with the same line.
Oh, Lord.
Go with it, see what happens. I don't want to start Gabriel Davis. Axel, find an option 3 and throw that in here, and we will probably all take option 3, unless it's Gunnar Olszewski.
Jacoby Myers or Henry Ruggs?
Floor, ceiling. Floors.
I like Ruggs.
Jacoby, ceiling is Ruggs, but you love your Ruggs.
I just want to say, Jacoby Myers scores a touchdown today.
Ooh.
It's happening.
All right, we need to do some side bets after this is over.
We've
had a lot of hot takes.
We will have to do them off air because it is 11:02 here in the Central Time Zone. So we're gonna hop off of here, but keep asking us questions on Twitter at KTompkinsII, at Haddow27, at Britt_Flinn. If you do not, if we don't talk to you, have a great week 5, and we will see you next week for week 6 when we have invariably answer more questions about Allen Robinson because he went 2 for 12 in week 5. So I'll
go Gabriel Davis.
Yeah, Gabriel Davis, buddy. All right, we'll see you next week. Good luck in week 5.